Kiahonfire family, it's Kiahonfire and welcome back to Valheim. Today I'm doing a build video. I'm sharing my build that I've done on my own server with you guys today. My clan needed a new clan house, so I've gone ahead and built one. A really big one. It took a few days to do because farming all the resources and that. But I thought I'd share it with you today because the last video I did on my build, when I did it in single player, seemed to go down really well, so I thought, you know what, I'll share another one of my builds with you guys. If you'd like to make the build yourself, I have left instructions in this video how to do so, and you're more than welcome to. It's very cozy, it holds a lot of Vikings in it, and it's absolutely been great for storage and very safe as well, to be honest, because the moats really help out with these kind of builds. If you did like my raid proof based video, I do have something else in the works very similar, but it's going to help with kind of aerial attacks, because with that raid base back there, it really helps the ground creatures, as none of the ground creatures can really get at your base at all from that kind of build. But if you're getting things like drakes raiding, like flying, things like that, then maybe not so good. So I do have something in the works coming up with that. But I'm just going to share my big old clan base today and show you how to build it. So I hope you do like the video. And this thing is absolutely huge. I could do a bigger space around it I might actually expand the moat a little bit outwards so we can have some more gardens on the outside and honey, etc. But no, this space is really big and spacious. There's still plenty of room for me to fit workstations and upgrades in here still. But we have a few things against the wall and stored in here. The cooking stations are really ideal because they're in the middle of the house, which means anywhere you go in this clan house, you're pretty much going to get that nice rested buff in here, which is absolutely great. You can fit like 3 cauldrons on that hearth in there, and you can fit all of the, the nice cooking racks as well in there quite easily. I did put the beds against the wood in the upstairs, although there is plenty of space around the other areas if you wanted a more neater bed system. Because we have quite a lot of players, I've just shoved it in those lines and it's still pretty handy, and then I still have lots of room. And then upstairs, it got a little bit cramped in there because the chimneys go through that way. But there's a nice little relaxing spot, and I thought if we have any naughty Vikings in my clan, they can go into the attic for the night. Because I like that. No, plenty of space for lots of different bits and bobs. I think we have like 3 workstations in here as well. No, lots of space, and there's a stairwell that connects to our furnace area upstairs, because that's how we had it set up beforehand. You could actually fit these furnaces indoors if you really wanted to. So let me go over how I built this actual thing. With the help of my dear clanmates, especially Crossman, big shout out to him. He helped me farm a lot of materials for this because it was pretty expensive. But the original foundation is about 9 by 13, so 13 is the long side, 9 along. It's an odd number. This is because I want the hole in the roof, the 1 by 1, to fit the chimney through, so it does need to be an odd number. You could have an even number on the long side, but if it's the the top bit, it definitely needs to be an odd number for that to fit in properly. And then I was just putting in the groundwork as well here, so I've already planned where I want to put the fireplaces in here, and then I got a few gaps as well in here because I wasn't quite sure what to do with the other 2x2s. And pretty much what I'm doing is now I'm going to put down some nice core wood pillars. I was going to use reinforced iron, but I thought it was unnecessary because these core wood pillars can hold it plenty well, and you only really need the iron so much for the stone. I just decided to use them on the sides just for a little bit of difference here, and that it wouldn't block the door so much. So now I'm putting some core wood beams in. This is going to hold up like the second floor, so I've already planned that out, and I've just pretty much gone all the way around it in one big rectangle that you'll be able to see. Then I went in to put the stone walls all around the outside, so we got that nice protective stone layer, and also with this it's going to break up the kind of wood from the other materials, because I can't stand having a house that's just like all the same material unless you've got like a lot of wood patterning on it. It just makes it a little bit boring, so I thought I'd spice it up. And then I put in some single layer bricks, but I'm actually going to remove those and put in the double layers so I don't have that awkward gap in the way. And that will make the door frames. I'm going to do this around all 3 of the doors. Then what I do to put in these beams is I put one of these short walls down and I snap it to the wall and then I plop it down for the door frame. We also do this for the actual supports as well, and then you break that small wall. And then I'm putting in the roof. You double layer it so it doesn't have this weird overlay. You can do that pretty easily. And then I'm putting on that overhang. So I was thinking here, should I do it a little bit differently? But I decided to go with like a bigger drop instead of the shorter drop kind of roofing to make that kind of Viking style overhang. Now, like I was saying about earlier, I'm going to put in these short walls, put in the structural support. So pretty much what I'm doing is every now and again across the wall, apart from the two ends of the building, which are going to have like a 2x2 gap, I'm pretty much putting a 1x1 gap in with support beams. This is going to help hold up the roof or anything like that. It's going to make the stability a lot stronger, because we're going to need it, because the well, how tall the building is, we're definitely going to need lots of structural support, so this thing doesn't just go pancaking down. That would be rather inconvenient, of course, for such a tall building. And then these supports are being connected to the middle support of the building, so we're going to have that floor foundation support for the inside. And then I'm filling in like the front area, so I'm putting in the walls and the triangles to hold up each area here. And then it started raining, so I needed to put in some of the roofing to stop the rain hitting the floor, because the wooden floor in the inside will actually break in the rain if it's not covered. So I've had to cover it a little bit. It's the same with some of the pillars as well. We had to repair them a little bit now and again because of this rain, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's fine. They don't break quickly, so there was enough time to keep repairing it, but this rain lasts for ages. After that, I'm now connecting the beams up a little bit higher, and then again I'm going to bring it back to the middle frame with some pillars to just stabilize it a bit here. And then the next day I forgot to record a little bit, which was putting in the fireplaces, but literally I've used 2 pillars on the outside of each fireplace, a couple of 1x2s, and that nice stone arch just to make the fireplace. It's a pretty simple build, and pretty much what I've drawn up through that fireplace as well is wooden walls to make the chimney, and filled in a little bit of the wooden ceiling. But it was the next day, so I was a little bit tired. I also put in some windows as well, so we could have some nice viewing space and a little stairway up. Also up the top I built a separate bit because I wanted to cut up the roof a little bit because it was looking all a little bit samey. So I thought, you know what, we'll put in some different textures here, and we're going to have like a little rooftop area, especially for our chimneys to come out of. And then on the end bits, I'm just putting in some ceiling here as well. But of course, I'm leaving that gap for the chimney so I can bring it up. So now, like I said, I'm bringing in the chimney. People asked me this in this last video, why are your walls inside out? Well, I actually like the design of the walls inside out. And from what I know in the game so far is that it doesn't make no difference which side of the wall that creatures are hitting on. It doesn't make no difference on damage. One side is not weaker than the other. So I'm turning the walls inside out because I like the wall pattern on there, and it breaks it up from the normal wood. I don't like having like a flat wood wall, so that's why I'm doing that. But anyway, I put in the chimney. I thought, there we go, we're putting a little X, and I thought that space wasn't enough for the smoke to breathe out, which of course it is not. So what I'm doing is putting a half wall in to leave enough space for the smoke to come out the top, and I'm pretty much going to do this all the way around minus the 2 ends. And then I'm just going to fill that in with a little bit more of the sloped thatch roof just to cover it over. And then I went to go and put the rest of the floors on the second floor inside just to tidy up a little bit, so we could have some walking space, a place for our bedrooms and whatever else we wanted to store up here. And then finally the hearths, so I'm putting that in so we can have our food cooking, our rested buff when we come in here, and of course we did some stations off camera as well. And that's pretty much what you really need to know about this build. It took a while to build, but it was good fun doing it. And I hope this guide helped you if you wanted to replicate my build. If I was to change anything else about this, like I said in the beginning, I'm probably going to add some more garden space and maybe flatten out the outside of the moat a little bit. So we'll still have that high ground there. Maybe heighten it up a little bit if you're going to build it yourself. Maybe a little bit more to keep the trolls from hitting on it so much. We did find when we had the gardens on the outside, the troll could hit like just the garden bit, but it wouldn't hit the house. So that would be fixed if I made the actual moat a little bit higher or the water a little bit lower. But pretty much what I'm going to do is with the outside bit, where you see the cut between the moat and the land. I'm going to smooth that out a little bit and put some grass on it, make it look a little bit nicer than it is. And then you'll just have that sitting quite comfortably on the moat. Moat's very handy because when you get anything like raids or just normal things like in the night, when you're on a server with quite a few people, you do get a lot of grey dwarves coming and bashing on your building. With this moat, they're literally in the moat, bashing on the moat, and they can't do anything against it because they can't break the stone. So it's really handy. All the pests are kept out, and it's just nice, you know. So you don't have to worry about that leaving your house and then coming back and this grey dwarf is just there bashing on it or whatever else creature is there. But anyway, thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.